Hey guys, Mike here. As you know, how long ago was it now? I guess last August, I had left a longtime employer, 18 years by the way, and switched to another company. And part of that was I gave up my corporate phone that I had there. I usually carry two phones. I have a work phone and a personal phone. The old job, my work phone was an iPhone 7 Plus, and my personal phone, as you know, I love it, is my Galaxy Note 8. I haven't upgraded to Note 9 yet. I don't see the extra value in that, but that's another video. Um, but I gave up my iPhone, and for the first time for a while, I didn't. I only had one phone, which actually felt good, but I didn't have an Apple device on me, and I've had every Apple device since I think the iPhone 3 was my first one, which is the second iPhone. Um, no, that's not true. I had the original iPhone. I skipped the iPhone. Yeah, because the original iPhone had 2.5G. Okay, so I had the original iPhone. I skipped the iPhone 3 and I jumped onto the iPhone 3G, and I've had every iPhone since then, including the 4, the 4S, uh, the 5, the 5S. I had the 6. I think I skipped the 6S and went to the 7 Plus. Um, I didn't have the 8 because I was stuck on the 7 Plus. My company had a policy. When I first got the phone, you had to keep it for 2 years. They were paying for it, so it's their policy. And then it went to 3 years. And by that point, it brings us to last August when I changed to the new company. So, the new company, slightly different phone policy. They subsidize part of it, but then you own it and they pay for the service. So, I wanted to try an iPhone 10, although my gut was telling me I probably wouldn't like some stuff about it. But I'm a huge Apple. I hate to use the word fanboy, but I'm a huge Apple fan. So let's put it that way. I've had MacBooks. I actually bought the original G4 Cube. I still got that sort of as a museum piece. Uh, so again, I like Apple products, and generally speaking, I haven't found one yet I didn't like. So even if on paper it didn't look like I'd like it, I figured, okay, once I try it and I use it, I'll probably love it. And unfortunately for me, with the 10, I was wrong. I don't like it at all. Actually, and every day I've got it, I hate it a little bit more. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I kind of wish I had gone with the iPhone 8 Plus, which would have been a little more traditional. And the things I don't like about the 10 are following through into the design language of the 10s, the 10R, and the 10s Max. Although everybody's calling it XS, which is the iPhone XS. It's excessive. And the iPhone XS Max, I mean, uh, Apple, your marketing guys, do you try to pronounce the wrong way of doing it, seeing how people are going to perceive the product? Um, anyway, so I'll tell you a little bit about it. First, the positive. I think the iPhone 10 is a beautiful looking device. Okay, it's beautiful. By the way, I had it a couple days and I broke the little corner over here, and it's not a big deal. And when I put a case on it, you can't see it anyway, but bothers me. And you know what they want to fix that? That's like a almost a $500 repair bill to fix that little corner. Ain't getting fixed. Although it limits my ability to sell this thing at some point now. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking device. It's got this black stainless steel around the edge. Some people were complaining about scratches. I'm not getting that on mine. And the front of the screen is absolutely perfect. Um, I find the screen itself quite gorgeous. Uh, it works well. It's not as bright or as robust as my Samsung screen. I know some people say Samsung's oversaturated, but to my eyes, it looks a little bit better. And also, I need reading glasses, so the screen's a little small. I can't really read it without my glasses. Um, the blacks are very deep black, so it would make a good movie viewing or video viewing unit, except for one item. I'll get to that in a second. Um, and of course, as you know, their signature feature is the glasses edge to edge with no home button. And the no home button is not a big deal. I can swipe up, and that's fine. I did like the home button, and I'll tell you why. And it's got more to do not with the having a home button, although Samsung on their Note also got rid of the home button. But what they ended up doing, let me just unlock it here, is they put a virtual home button at the bottom, so it still acts like a home button. I guess Apple didn't want to copy Samsung after accusing Samsung copying them. So I get that. That's fine, and it doesn't take much to get used to the swiping motion on it. Um, I don't like Face ID at all. Okay, I've tried to get used to it. I've had this since August. It has not grown on me. I have spent. Matter of fact, I turned it on for this video, but normally I keep Face ID turned off. It's that annoying to me because nothing. At least 20% of the time, it will recognize my face for some reason, and I end up typing a passcode anyway. Also, there's times like in a meeting where you want to just check a text that came in. You want to be discreet. You want to look down, and normally you just touch ID, hit your thumb, just look at it, put it away. So here you almost got to put it like in front of your face for it to unlock so you can see what the message is. It's kind of obnoxious. And when you're driving, that's a whole nother problem. If you're trying to unlock it for the GPS, before you could just, you don't have to look at it, you just reach over and push your finger on it. Now you gotta like lean your head in front of it. It's a little awkward. Some people love Face ID. That's fine. I like biometrics in general. I just thought Touch ID worked better in almost every case that I use it for. And actually, you know what? Again, I'm not comparing Samsung and Apple here because I'm still an Apple fan. But on my note, I don't. I mean, it's got facial recognition. It's got horrible facial recognition. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Samsung's facial recognition is the most insecure thing on the planet. You hold up a photograph, it's going to unlock. Now with the Note 9 and the S9 Plus, you can also use iris scanning. A little bit slower, but a little bit more secure. I'm still not sure it's at the level of Apple's Face ID. Apple's Face ID is secure. I'll give it that. Um, but even on the Samsung, they got a fingerprint reader on the back. I use that. It's a little inconvenient with a case like this because it's always in the way, but it works. Okay. If you don't have a case like this, it's perfect. Apple's got a big Apple logo on the back. I'm not sure why they didn't make that a fingerprint reader. That would have solved a lot of problems. And as you know, I'm still I was complaining about this with the 7 Plus. I'm still bitter about the headphone jack. I don't do any music listening on this thing anymore. That's usually relegated to a device that has headphone jack. The other thing that I thought I might get used to and I didn't, and let me go ahead and unlock this and pull up something that shows it. Hold on, passcode. Okay. Okay, like on the settings screen. The notch. I know a lot of you say you get used to it in a few minutes or a few hours. I haven't. I don't know if it's because I'm occasionally OCD or what, but when I see that thing there, my eyes are just drawn to it like there's a broken part in the middle of my screen. And I can't get over it. So if you notice, like even on my home screen, I use a black background so I don't have to see it as much as I can. I tried doing some crazy stupid stuff like putting little pieces of tape over the ears. The ears are the bright parts there, to make it look a little bit better. But the tape is obnoxious and looks bad too, so that was a really bad idea. Don't do that. The other part is the notification icons they put in the ears. I've had a few people tell me, "Oh, it's like extra screen space to put the notification icons." Well, yeah, but the thing is, there's not enough room for it. If you look at an iPhone 8 or an 8 Plus, and you want to see the notification icons, they can go across the whole screen. There's a lot more information. In this one here, they put a little tiny bit of information up there. I can't tell what carrier I'm on. I can't tell what battery level it is. To do that, you got to swipe down to the control panel, and it'll tell you all that information on this screen. Whereas in the 8 and the 8 Plus, that's all just available right on the home screen. If they really wanted to do the notch right, well, forgetting they should have done a notch anyway. It's stupid. But if they really want to fix these notifications, they got to move it down below the notch and use the whole side of the screen, and then just ignore those two ear things. Or they could just go back to what I think they should have done is put a bezel there. When did bezels go bad? I mean, it's just a little tiny area that you can put all your camera and everything else up there. I'm mumbling. You get my point. It's frustrating. The other thing too is when I'm watching videos, you have two choices. Let me see. Come on, passcode. All right. See if I can find. Let's see, Netflix. Okay. And let's play something. Doesn't matter what. Let's just play it. Okay. So you have two choices. You either play a movie like that with black bars on both sides, kind of like bezels, right? JTBC. And let's pause it here. Let's get somewhere a little more screen. Okay, we have little black bars on both sides, and then you see the whole picture. I tend to, if I got a full edge screen, I do this on both the Note. I do this on every phone I've got. You can expand it out, and you just lose a little on the top and the bottom, but it makes the screen look bigger. It's a better experience watching movies. Here's the problem. If I'm watching a movie on this, it cuts out this whole notch area. It's like missing. Again, my eyes draw right to it. I wish I could hide those ears and I wouldn't notice it as bad. Anyway, That's just my take on it. The other thing, and the last complaint I've got about the iPhone 10 is the glass back. As you see, I got a little break up here. That break happened a couple days after I owned it. I put it on a shelf in a bathroom. Someone else slammed the door. It fell like 3 feet onto the floor and broke that little corner. These things are fragile. I mean, really fragile. I'm not a big fan of the glass back anyway. I get it. They wanted to do it for wireless charging, which is slow as snot, by the way. You're better off just plugging a cable into it. But it's like they're designing phones without the use case of somebody might actually drop it out of their hand, and this thing's slippery. Um, so I keep it. I got a case like this. I keep it in now, but it as you can see, it hides the broken piece, and I got a pop socket on it, so I can actually try to watch the movies on it. But it's I don't know. They're making phones so fragile now. It's like I don't know. Like my iPhone 7 Plus had a aluminum back. Yeah, the screen could still break. It's $100 to fix, by the way, as opposed to this thing. Um, but you weren't going to break the back of it. It's the same complaint I got with my Note 8, by the way. It's a glass back that can break as well. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is Apple's kind of lost me with this design language. I prefer a bezel on the front to the notch. I'd like to have a headphone jack. Um, and I want my Touch ID back. Okay, so what they've essentially done is increase the price of the phone considerably and take away things that I enjoyed that I thought was helpful to the device. I've had the phone since August. It's now January, so we're looking at almost 6 months of use, and my opinion hasn't gotten any better about this device. It's gotten worse. And if I can figure out a way to sell it with that broken piece without going broke fixing it, I'm going to sell this device, and I'll either get an iPhone 8 or even maybe an Android or something until Apple. I probably won't be buying another iPhone if they're going to keep going down this design road until they change back to something a little more traditional. And by the way, speaking of let's go off the deep end and completely lose our minds, Samsung, of course, has been critical of Apple for the notch, rightly so. But now Samsung's trying to come up with a way they can do an edge-to-edge screen without a notch because they've criticized the notch so much they couldn't possibly copy it. Rumor has it now that they're going to drill a hole in the screen and put the camera there. That's even worse. Then it looks like a big blocked dead pixel in the middle of it. Don't do that. I won't buy it. Anyway, phones are getting so expensive, I'm probably not going to be buying high-end phones anymore. But anyway, my rant, and I'm sure since I criticized Apple, I'm going to get some interesting comments on this. It's not personal. I'm still an Apple fan. I just don't like this particular line of products they're coming out with, and I hope they change something else. And if they don't, well, I'll find something else to do. Still like some of their computers. Okay, I'll leave that for another video. Anyway, this is Mike from Kankakee, Illinois. Take care.